Welcome back. Now 5:22. Time for our Ig News. Let's check in with Bob Bosold over at Wax. Hello.
Good morning. I thought for a while I stayed out too late last night. When I got up this morning and drove in with this fog, I thought, what did I do last night?
You didn't miss anything.
I didn't do anything, but it is foggy out there.
It is.
So be careful out there, especially if you're maybe going to Green Bay later on for the ball game. But hopefully it'll burn off by then. Well, let's take a look at what's going on in the world of agriculture this morning, shall we? Let's talk trade, starting with China. And China has long been a consistent buyer, billions of dollars worth of American agricultural products each year. But that appears to be changing as trade disagreements between the U.S. and China heat up. China has not yet bought a single load of our soybeans this marketing year, something they always do as they wait for the Brazilian crop to come in around February. Well, now we have another indication that the Chinese are trying to distance themselves even more from the United States. A new report in the Wall Street Journal says a Chinese food processing company plans to build the world's biggest export terminal in Brazil, so they can substitute U.S. beans and other foodstuffs with product from South America. The article says both South America and China are excited about the new opportunities to grow their relationship. But we do have a new trade agreement with Japan. President Trump has signed an executive order to implement an agreement with Japan that is expected to increase U.S. agricultural sales to Japan by about $8 billion a year. The deal calls for an expedited implementation of a 75% increase in sales of U.S. rice to Japan. The deal would also mean larger sales of corn, soybeans, fertilizer, and bioethanol. That $8 billion would be in addition to the almost $13 billion Japan spends now on U.S. agricultural products each year. Another provision of the agreement is that Japan has also agreed to invest $550 billion somewhere in the U.S. economy in the future. Earlier this week, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., head of the Health and Human Services Agency, released the Make America Healthy Again Commission report. For the most part, farm organizations around the country support that document. National Milk Producers Federation likes the fact that it calls for getting whole milk back into the schools and boosting the call for more dairy in children's diets. The National Council of Farmer Cooperatives and the Agricultural Retailers Association are happy that the final report avoids unfounded allegations about pesticides and instead supports science-based findings from the EPA and the USDA. More grant money is available from the Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection for the Buy Local, Buy Wisconsin projects. Interested groups from all over the state, any group can apply, but interested groups have until Monday, September 15th, to apply for part of the $200,000 that is available. And we go to the markets. Board of Trade was lower yesterday as traders anticipate tomorrow's USDA report. What's going to happen to production numbers, we'll see. But overnight, December corn up a fraction at $4.18. The wheat sitting at $5.15 a bushel. November soybeans jumped a nickel overnight up to $10.30. And the barrel cheese price was down 1.5 cents as the blocks were up 3/4. Butter down 4 cents to $1.96.5. First time that's been under $2 in a long time. Class 3 futures continue to struggle and struggle mightily in some cases. September was down 8 at 17.66. October lost 36 cents yesterday, down to 16.56. November lost 37 cents, down to 16.58, as those prices were, again, lower all the way out through July. And just a quick note, guys, we're getting into farmers are making hay. This weather we're going to have now, they're making fourth crop hay, also starting to chop their corn silage. A lot of farm equipment is out on the road, and people are going to be out driving motorcycles and Lord knows what on some of our county and state highways. So let's everybody be careful and make it a safe weekend. We don't want to have accidents.
You know, Bob, I was on Highway 10 all the way out towards Stevens Point the other day through Neilsville and Marshfield, and yeah, I saw a lot of farm equipment out there. So.
Yep. So let's all take our time.
Yep.
All right.
Have a good
so
one.
Much,
See you in the
Bob.
morning.
We're the Georgia Ray Family Band. Hello, Wisconsin.